what? Jesus Christ. Nigga's annoying. I don't get why that was so funny. What? Where's Swags? I just want to go to Swags. I literally see Swags on the left side. It's all the way over here on south side. Oh, these nigga got the script, got them. Look, but this nigga got the script. Ron the Bomb. This nigga's name is Ron the Bomb. There we go. Ronald the Bomb. Karan, how else would I be at 84? And Jalen's banned. Hey, mods, can I get a ban on Jalen? On Hugo 856? Hey, mods, can I get a ban on Hugo 856? If I knew how, I would. Yeah, Hugo got banned. We banned him from the broadcast. Niggas are watching me just run around. Little nigga. Hey, mods, can we get a ban on green light with threes? He's using inappropriate text in the chat. What does this do? Mods, where's my bayonet on green light? They have a TikTok ad? Oh my god. Hey my god. $50. Like, see, bro, in the stream, I still sound like a squeaker. But, like, I really don't in real life. Yo, this nigga's mad happy.
By my count, there were 15 deaths in the descent. In a rare occurrence, only one was a male human.
Whoa! Whoa! Which one of y'all niggas is that? Jalen, you're wildin', my nigga.
With a runtime of 100 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every
Could do that.
6.66 repeating minutes. That's the Devil Man number. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kills to Paul. There are a ton of awesome
He loves a party.
kills in this movie, but that first death is so sudden and tragic. For me,
And
more traumatizing car accident kills than the catastrophe in Final Destination 2. Also, I'm not including Jessica in this report because, I mean, you know, little kid.
oh, I got some tie-dye shirts. Oh, never mind. That's gay. These niggas have. I have to pay VC to keep my players safe. That's crazy.
I know, there's tons of exceptions. I just mean the general vibe of those years, okay? I'll check out the subpar sequel on Sunday, but until then, I'm Dfdsd. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this week's Kill Count. A lot of patrons I want to thank, so thank you Kevin Hammond Guitarson, James Hayden, Logan Flanagan, Thomas Boyd Venue Jr., Mike Perry, Adam Archer, Bomber Stalmo, Liam Pesci, and Harry Richards.
Where's the white tee at? Is that a white tee right there?
What do you think about it? If you haven't, go watch it. Thanks, everyone.
Them niggas is always on. Everything is always on sale in Foreman Mills. Like, it's to the point where it's like nothing really is on sale. Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm Dfdsd, and today we're looking
Foreman Mills.
at 2009. This is a pretty standard horror movie sequel in a whole bunch of ways, starting with the fact that it's not really necessary. The first
Foreman Mills. Foreman Mills. Foreman Mills. Foreman Mills.
So when has that ever stopped a sequel from getting made?
Y'all ever had a 4-man meal? Y'all ever had a 4-man meal? Hey, John Bender, you like men?
Back in the caves again as part of a rescue mission looking for the other girl. Add in some claustrophobia and a bunch of creepy crawlers, and you've got yourself a recipe for leftovers that aren't quite as good as the original meal. How many kills will we find in these caves as we go back underground for seconds? Let's find out and give the best. The movie begins once again in the Appalachian Mountains, USA. Same place as
They don't got chains.
featuring the same sweeping score.
If I go back in swags and don't got to change, you're blocked.
A dusty, dirty dude.
See? He's lying. He just lied to me.
But he doesn't avoid the bloodied up Sarah hanging on his window. Nor does he avoid
You said it's in Section 8.
Don't descend too deep down now, y'all. It's 2 days after Sarah and her friend went.
Oh, at the script. My team. Give me a star.
Dan and his flirtatious underlings, Greg and Cass, they're looking in the wrong cave system. As Juno pulled that old cavern switcheroo. Sarah awakens in a hospital bed to a couple of cops questioning her. The sympathetic
Why,
and the less sympathetic sheriff of Frontier Mountain.
Oh my God.
So that's where Chuck Cunningham ran off to. Okay, Sarah's not much use to him though, because he doesn't remember anything.
Hey, what? He had a skateboard.
Oh, not something you want to have to learn a second time.
Hey guys, TikTok. Hey guys, you see the TikTok? You see the TikTok? Hey guys, TikTok. You guys see the TikTok?
Suspicious of Sarah after learning about the blood on her clothes. Turns out the blood is A positive, which is not her blood type. It's the blood type of the Juno.
So, I'm A positive.
Nigga, I don't see a jewelry store. Oh, Drip Brothers.
Like me, I'm A positive too. It's easy to remember because I'm an A+ guy. Baines' suspicions are not assuaged though, so he takes Sarah along with them as they too go to the old. That old dusty brother, Ed Oswald, tells the cops and tasers that there's an unexplored cave system at the bottom of this mine shaft, one that his granddaddy went into once upon a time and never came out of. He then suggests they take the old elevator down, even though Greg isn't confident in the equipment's integrity.
Sonny, let me tell you, this old shit bug will be working a long time after that MP3 of yours.
It'll work long after a digital file format will work? What? Maybe he just prefers prefers the uncompressed wave format. Or maybe he's an analog guy. Who knows? Believing that Sarah could help them navigate the cave, Baines orders the obviously troubled woman to accompany them underground. So after everyone gears up, they hop into Old Man Analog's rickety-ass elevator as he gives them a wink goodbye. Or maybe that was just an eye twitch? I don't know. Got shit. Despite some creaking and squeaking, the elevator
Alright, so one of your brothers.
which was actually done in a pretty fun way on set. They used a rolling rubber.
Oh, this way I cop up on the seat.
On a belt behind the actors.
Can I wear this in park?
Simulation of their elevator's descent. Way easier than filming on an
Nope.
actual
I don't want it if I can't wear it in park.
Once down there, they begin to traverse the tunnel, making record time thanks to a bunch of handy dissolves. A similar series of dissolves was also used in the original film, which was edited by this movie's director, John Harris. The Descent Part 2 is Harris's one and only directing credit, but the dude is a very accomplished editor, even earning an Oscar nomination for his work on 127 Hours. A little ways in, they come across the skull of a... wait, a dinosaur? Oh, no, it's not actually that big, but it is still kind of scary, especially coupled with that warning sign they blatantly ignored to go deeper into the earth. Prompted by Rio, Sarah looks around for anything that might help jog her memory. Yeah, like that. Only turns out that's just a calcium deposit. Damn, Cave, brush your
Which
teeth
one?
often. Cap uses a device to listen deeper into the cave, and some dolphin-sounding clicking noises triggers a night vision.
I can't, bro. I'm ready to hit Elite 5 so I can get a mascot.
What happened down here, Sarah? How about the eviscerated
Let
body
me see
of
something.
Rebecca, whose tum-tum got nom-nommed by a crawler in the first movie? Wait, is she moving? Was I wrong to put
There you
Rebecca on
go.
the count? Oh, no, it's just Ratty the Rat. Ain't he a stinker? James accuses Sarah of
That's
being
so tough.
responsible for Rebecca's death, but a couple more flashbacks get her to finally speak up and say that they were all attacked by something.
Oh, it's back to reps of 5. Thank the Lord.
When her most intense set of flashbacks yet
Then you
gets
hit.
her to kick Baines in the face and fight her way free of the rest of the group. Baines heads after Sarah on his own.
Hey, mods. I still don't have a ban on him. Where's my ban?
You want to kiss it there?
He's fine.
Aw, Cap, he's just trying to be your Prince Charming. While the Cavers and Rios evaluate
It is fucking on back. It is fucking on back.
another electronic Sarah in the dark.
I don't know that now. And then niggas gonna fall. Whoa. But I never back down.
The spelunking team in rock, and after the stone and sediment has settled, Cass finds herself completely trapped in ice.
And it's cool out of traffic. And it's like, well.
Are one of the best times this movie evokes the same claustrophobic terror that made the first
Lemon.
so memorable.
Kappa. Kappas.
Over how helpless it is. Realizing there's nothing they can
All
do
these
for
is on the
the others
JT.
leave to look for help.
How got this in the sardine?
Nothing like a good cave in
I'm ready to cop up some Pumizies.
find an area of the cave filled with the carcasses.
Oh, the jewelry store. The jewelry store is over there. Over there.
Which shows the then still alive spelunking girls before they
Oh, Karan's muted. Let's mute Karan real quick.
What the fuck is what? Oh, that's a cave crawler, dude. He'll eat you up. They separate as they flee, and
Go ahead and mute Karan.
killed by calling out for the others. But thankfully, Sarah,
Can I get some boba tea?
personal crawler guy. Sarah can't help Dan, though, who never gets the message about shutting the fuck up. A crawler attacks him, and then just mauls the hell out of his neck, all while Sarah and Rios watch silently. Dan's corpse is dragged away, but not before Sarah's able to silently grab his equipment bag without the crawler ever hearing her. Stealth 100, motherfuckers! Cass tries to make the best of her situation, but it's kind of hard to do that when you've got goop dripping down on your hand. Careful there, Cass. We've all seen there's
I'm back on my drip.
who could be responsible for that cave hair gel? Not fucking course. Cass takes off her caving gear so she can squeeze her way to safety, and to make sure she won't be followed by this blind bastard, she kicks out a rock to crush his head.
Gotta
Ends up finding Greg, and because the buddies
cop up on the little chain. You know, that's some little pocket change to a nigga.
catches up her cave partner with creepy crawling
Throw him down like a damn swisher. Cause I need my bands bigger.
partner. Sure he does.
Thought she was a keeper, but my man's hit her. Yeah, my man's hit her, so I got to switch her. Maybe I gotta go to the store.
Cam's body hanging right where the crawlers left it. With the sound of screeching monsters.
Nigga, what do you know about that?
Course of action is to use that body to get across. During the bloody swing around, a male crawler attacks Greg, and a female one hops onto Cap.
We don't care.
Greg gets his neck bit out, But not to be outdone by this subterranean son of a bitch, he takes out a power.
Y'all niggas have the old head sense of humor, I'm telling you.
Greg then elects to save his crushed calf by recklessly
Oh, there's more to it, okay.
falling down the chasm with her. And although we'll see later that Greg survived this fall, spoiler alert, we'll see no such indication for the female crawler. So she goes on the list. Finally free to swing his feet, Calf gets across the chasm.
Before this rapping, I was giving it into a high speed like upset.
Down the hole. But don't worry, Calf. He won't be lonely for long, because here's a new friend. Oh,
Okay.
turns out he's not very friendly, is he? But he is pretty damn good at shadow puppets. With the extraneous characters involved, Sarah and Leo continue onward and swim through a flooded tight tunnel. This is another tight area.
I just put our front yard house inside the Maybach.
Looking like she's on fear factor.
Call the band, have a burger just a 10.
So she takes the breather and films a goodbye video for her daughter to find. Ooh, look at who's got a kid who's still alive.
We can in a room and pretend that we on an island. Make sure our time well spent. Bro, I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. Young Boy probably the best rapper of all time. Like, bro, I feel all his songs. Like, that nigga really be talking to me.
He's nearly killed by the sneaker preacher until a climbing pig up and pops out of his mouth. Another stab.
That's why I don't play him. That nigga always gets billed.
Also quickly dispatched of by Baines' newest cave partner, one who's finally not a corpse or a crawler. It's the numero uno crawler killer, Juno. Sarah and Rios crawl through a tight tunnel and are forced by a...
Or my nigger burning like a re. Or my nigger burning like a re. Or my nigga burning like a re.
hairpin of some sort, which he uses to stab the creature in the neck. Good work, Rio. You never forget your first crawler kill.
I don't know why I listened to Elijah. I knew these shoes wasn't in no goddamn Nike.
It's less of a swimming pool and more of a cesspool. Giant cave toilet bowl for the...
Still got the same colorways. Yes. Yes. 2K, good job.
was filled with gelatin and all sorts of gross stuff, and actor Shauna McDonald and Kristen Cummings had to spend 3 days shooting in this so-called shit pit.
It was kind of funny for about an hour.
Now, Juno may not be covered in food, but she's still looking a little terrified. Still, she picks right back up on her feet.
Let's look it up, guys.
Veins have potential death all around them. And in case you forgot why Juno was...
Where to get slides? 2K21.
between Rios and Sarah.
So I hurt her so I could get away.
Yeah, that's gonna make this reunion pretty awkward.
How you doing today, Mr. Mayor?
It's still having a 3 running back rotations for me.
Alright, so I recently made a
Weird.
video showcasing all of the new clothing. So we're going to start off with 2 locations. So I'm going to set a waypoint for one of them and then head over there. Now, once we're in Sandals, finally, I wanted to quickly show you where to buy face masks for your card that says I slide. And then here is where you can purchase those slides.
Oh, the GT Sporting Goods. I need the money to pay for respect. I need the money to pay. I need the money to pay respect. I need the money to pay respect. I need the money for 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 respect.
Try to pull Baines up over the edge, but with crawlers creeping up on him, they realize there's no other choice than to cut Sarah free from him by severing his arm at the wrist. Rios finally picks through all of Baines' wrist, and he falls into the chasm alongside 2 cave crawlers, giving us 3 more victims.
Why do you still have Jordan Boyer on your thing?
To the cave exit, but it's blocked by a bunch of blind bastards. At first, the women are able to narrowly sneak by,
one.
but that ends when a still living Greg grabs Juno's arm and causes her to scream. And then he dies. Wow, way to die a narc, Greg. There's another giant rumble in the tunnel, during which Sarah and Rios manage to kill their sparring partners with the handcuffs and a rock, respectively. Juno's having trouble with her extra-sized crawler, though, so Rios says that she and Sarah should just get the heck out of there, not willing to leave Juno behind for a second time. Sarah instead turns back and uses her handcuffs to drag the crawler away from Juno. The crawler still manages to tear open Juno's stomach, though, spelling inevitable death for the surprise survivor. But before she goes out, Juno helps Sarah kill the creature creature by ripping out its neck with her teeth. Oh, and then Sarah stabs it too. Teamwork. Unfortunately, Juno then dies in Sarah's arms right afterward, leaving Sarah pretty somber thanks to their last-minute reconciliation. Just try to focus on how she slept with her late husband, Sarah. It might make this whole
Time! No, not by
Rio
enough.
goes to leave, only to get stopped by a bunch of crawlers in the way. So Sarah decides to pull a real John Krasinski for the sake of Rio's survival. We watch the crawlers swarm her, and although we don't see her killed, and Juno survives some similar circumstances in the original, since there's no additional sequel to show that she survived, I'm gonna count Sarah as dead here. Rios makes her getaway in shots that are pretty much an exact fucking copy of the ones from the original. This callback is just a bit too carbon copy for my liking. Feels less like a nod and more like just a lazy lift. In any case, she escapes above ground and runs through the forest to freedom. But when she goes to call someone for an evac, she gets surprised by a shovel to the face, courtesy of that weird Ed Oswald dude. What the heck, guy? He drags her to a hole and leaves her there, content to end this movie with a sacrifice and a jump scare. How many people and or crawlers got killed when they weren't too busy pooping in pools? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Oh, going underground. There were 17 deaths in the Descent Part 2, 2 more than in the first film. The victims consisted of 3 human men, 3 human women, 10 crawler men, and 1 crawler woman, giving us yet another creepy crawling quad wedge bicep. With a runtime of 94 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 5.53 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to the first crawler death in the movie, the one cast.
Hey.
Also, no Vicente for lamest kill will go to the crawlers who fell down the chasm with spare vein. He's not included because of the whole arm thing, but those crawlers just fell into darkness. Boring, and that's it. The descent part
Barbershop. Where's the barbershop? Where's the barbershop? Barbershop. Barbershop. Barbershop.
is just kind of, whatever.
Where's the barbershop? Where's the barbershop?
It's time to satisfy our sweet tooth and visit the Candy Man. But until then, I'm James Dfdsd. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank a ton of patrons, like Linda from Accounting, Joseph B. Colson III, Brad Sturgis, Ryan Clark, Daniel Greinke, Nicole Whitney, Jason Sloan, Isaac K, and Ashley Sanderson. Thank you so much, you and all the other amazing patrons. So excited to get the Candy Man. Thanks, everyone. Be good people. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm Dfdsd, and today we're looking at the
So they took the barbershop out the game.
New England folk tale,
Okay.
premiered in 2015. The Witch follows a family of
Dylan, shut
who
up.
vanish from their community and have to build
Oh, they added some tough joints. I ain't even gonna hold you, but let's start at the beginning, goddamn. So we got the bald, the little afro, got the little bug cut, then nigga head, the little peasy. Got the bug cut polished, got the Caesar. They're right there in the Caesar though, they're a little too high. Cornrows.
In other words, don't go walking into this thing and
Hey, that boy wavy.
instead of standard jump scares, most of the terrorists derived from foreboding shots of
Still got the dread out there.
on the soundtrack.
Got the short dread out there.
And in between all the
Got the fig out there.
characters speak to each other.
Got the little forehead, the flat top, got the jubot, messy, twist fade, high top, mohawk, parted, ponytail, receipt, samurai, short tapered, short afro, spiky, messy spike, foxhawk, natural fade, curly fade, wavy. Boy, we all know that ain't wavy. Chop seat, got them. Chop long, chop medium, large afro, natural, short tapered, short tapered, cornrow, spiky, fib on. Hey, but these fib on hoe go hard, don't no cap, that fib on go hard. That go kinda dummy. The right shot go dummy, bitch. That one here, they got the doodoo braids. Got the D-Lows.
circa 1630 something.
This is the Playboy card in Rochelle 2015 paper card. Got the scruffy. Cornrows. Those ain't cornrows. I don't know what them is.
Extremists, even for the pilgrims. So they're banished from the
Nigga, these are braids. These are not dreads. But it's all good.
to them forever.
Those are just twists.
Isn't looking too thrilled about the move. It's tough to switch schools at that age, you know? For their new home, William picked a clearing near some woods that director Robert Eggers says is meant to be in southern New Hampshire, even though the movie was filmed in a remote part of Canada. Either way, I don't know why they chose this spot to live when it's surrounded by the noisiest goddamn trees I've ever heard.
Y'all remember asking? We don't care. We don't care. You're black.
Later, they built a small farm, and you best believe that what you're looking at here is how it would have worked in real life. Eggers, a stickler for authenticity, had the whole place built from scratch with materials and techniques these characters would have
We vibing with it. We vibing with it, man.
walking around when he made this movie. A lot of historians have praised him for how
Dr. Ikas. It's Dr. Ikas. Ikas.
pickups for Game of Thrones. Teenager Thomas
Ikas.
takes in the family's favorite pastime, praying to God for forgiveness. She apologizes to the big man for occasionally having personal desires instead of wanting to work and praise the Holy Spirit.
Up in the chopper, and I'm up in the pata. Up in the pata.
Exactly what she deserves. Amen. But Thomason shouldn't
Open his lata.
At least she's a good sister to her newborn baby brother, Sam. Although, yeah, looks like you went and lost a baby there, Thomason. That's probably going to be a strike against you. Sam's apparently been taken by the woods themselves, though in actuality, he was taken by the woods witch, who rushes the baby back to her witch hut among the trees. The witch lays the baby out and puts a blade up to him, and horrifically enough, baby Sam becomes our first werewolf victim on the cow. Killed off screen and then pushed into a baby cage by this naked-ass witch. She uses the
80 chains on, but I ain't took one yet.
looking brand. And hey, what do you know? Baby blood gives you wings.
Oh,
Got a
oh,
regular Batman on our hands here. A week later, with Mother Catherine still in despair, William tells his adolescent son Caleb that he's calling off the search for baby
that
Sam,
nigga broke.
saying that the kid's gotta be dead by now.
Tell that nigga Quran. I said he broke. Nigga don't got no training. Got them.
The chickens are happy. You,
300K, okay.
you need to have food stored up for winter. So in his effort to persevere,
We will conquer this.
What?
It will not consume us.
William takes Caleb into the
I didn't say that.
dog fowl.
I said 300. Y'all say 100. Or y'all say 800. I say 3. I said 300.
And reminds him of original sin and what it means for his soul.
80 chains on, but I ain't took.
Animal traps are
Yeah.
empty of food.
This nigga's nose is huge. Son got the schnoz. Nigga's nose is humongous.
Then is he an animal?
Very well.
William basically tells his son, I hope not, but clearly these people are fixated on their God's moral judgment. A major theme throughout the film, and, you know, their faith. Remember, these are Puritans who pray to an angry God, a God to be feared and whose mercy is to be begged for. On their way back home, the boys see a spooky hare who stares them down, but William's hunting skills,
Oh my god, why are you like this, nigga? Jesus Christ.
being chased by the youngest of their clan, when Jonas and
You're boxed like a fish.
William gets into a horn wrestling match with Black Phillip, and his struggle here isn't really acting. Black Phillip was played by Charlie the Goat, who was apparently a major
Is Quran getting boxed like a fish?
time.
Yeah, I got to put the God, ain't got what they ain't got got to throw the bid on the nigga, bid. You know what I'm saying? Got to throw the bid on the nigga. You don't got the bid on the nigga. That nigga ain't nigga. That little boy out there. You hear me? That little nigga, little boy. When you throw the little bid on the little nigga, you know what I'm saying? That little nigga ain't no boy no more. That nigga man.
And Thomason for not watching over the twins with such
Cause he's a, you know, obviously he's a coverage linebacker, guys.
a stress reliever, chopping logs without a shirt on. You know, what workout plan you on, dude? Puritan 90X? Thomason is washing some clothes in the street when Caleb comes over and peeks at her décolleté, a sinful habit he had already indulged in that morning. Caleb is confused by
It's fine, nigga.
but that doesn't stop him from getting into an ungodly pickle fight with her. They're interrupted by the little
And the nigga's not even playing. That's the funny part.
woods and telling them that that's who took baby
Quran sucks, fam.
which is the family's working theory right now.
Go dig your partner up, nigga. Jaylee, you don't know about that. You don't know about that, Jay. Calm down, Nick. Oh, y'all know they took the barbershop out of the game?
He slaps Murphy down and tells her not to
I have no clue why, but them niggas took the barbershop out.
throat grab.
Yeah, them hoes is 10,000. I'm not paying 10,000 for slides.
Very lengthy dinner break. An
JR Sporting Goods.
accuses Thomason of losing her father's silver cup.
Yep.
No, wasn't a war.
2K logic.
Turns out it was her husband William, who earlier admitted to Caleb that he secretly sold that silver cup by
I mean, but then again, they would have to give them their own store
and an angry
because they're not any brand. They're just like
to go check on why the ghost
slides.
toys out in the
They
state.
don't.
Yo, it's all good, man. They just having their bunny friend over.
Oh yeah, they definitely should have.
Silently listen upstairs. Catherine flies over the
Or they should have just made a deal with Gucci and put the Gucci flip flops in the game, God, huh?
to another family in exchange
That would have been the smartest thing to do.
reluctantly agrees to send Thomason up the hill to stay with a family named the Dfdsd.
They didn't lose their deal with Jordan necessarily. They just lost their sponsorship from him.
Stealthy plans to bring his family some food.
So like they have a deal still, but they're not sponsored.
She insists on coming along. So, accompanied by
Yeah.
her and their trusty fowler, Caleb retrieves a rabbit from the trap.
To be honest, Jalen, we care.
Wine rack, and you can make yourself some small jerky. On the ride back home,
Whole time, you really don't. I care about my niggas. You don't care about your niggas. I care about my niggas.
courtesy of costume designer Lisa Mueller, Fowler finds another rascally rabbit wiggling its nose at him. The dog goes after the rabbit, the boy goes after the dog, and the upset horse knocks Thomason unconscious. Caleb gets
Nigger sucks.
sun goes down, and if that wasn't bad enough, he then goes and finds that his dog is dead. Meanwhile, Thomason comes to and makes her way back home, where she has to admit to her father that she lost another one of her siblings to the woods. Caleb finds himself at the lean-to of that wicked witch of the woods.
Coron sucks, fam. Yo, bro, fam, them is garbage. Man is terrible.
In a doubly disturbing act, the woods witch first seduces the young Caleb and then kidnaps him with an older-looking hand. I guess she missed the spot during her baby blood rubdown. That night, a storm rages on outside as William confesses to Catherine that he stole her silver cup. Now's a good time as any to note that Eggers and DP Jared Blasky lit this entire movie using only natural overcast sunlight and candles for the dark interior shades. It's another way they tried to be faithful to the time they were depicted. Incredible on good screens and
What?
lighting. I know
What?
that some of y'all
Yeah.
watch this on your
What?
phone in broad daylight.
Slap.
Taking the liberty of brightening some of their shots for you to better see them in this video. The angry weather matches Catherine's disposition, since she's mad at William for lying to her about the cup and at Thomason for losing another brother. But calm down, lady. The kid's already back. Just, a lot more wet, naked, and afraid. Caleb is fucked up, and it doesn't help that their best form of treatment right now is some bloodletting. God, what to do with all this pent-up frustration? Better go chop some more logs. The next morning, the twins get all up in Black Phillip's face and say that the ghost told them Thomason was
Good.
You always said I told me to.
Can you say go to there, go to there?
and the other ghosts straight up milking back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like Jazzer.
Caleb's condition goes from critical to crucial.
Yes, sir. Like Jazzer. Yes, sir. Like Jazzer.
Around in the damn sweat. Great. And now he's refusing to open his mouth until you literally pry it open. The kid's a bad apple, I'm telling you. And Catherine has a good idea why.
Witch? What's that? No.
The shit-spackle twins cry out that Thomason's a witch who's responsible for all their ills. But while Catherine is receptive to the claim, William remains skeptical. He asks Thomason if she's a witch, and she'd better be honest. Because, if you are a witch, you have to say so and act. That's like witch law, man. Thomason says she's not a witch, Christine O'Donnell style, and the family gets into a prayer circle around Caleb to heal that boy up. But the twins claim that they can't remember their prayers anymore and blame Thomason's witchcraft for their faulty memory. These shitty little twins. I bet before their banishment, they were best friends with Abigail Williams. Caleb breaks up the madness with the madness of his own, screaming with vigor about his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, before lying back in some sort of ecstasy and delivering a sonnet to JC.
My lord, kiss me with the kisses of thy mouth.
Caleb's rapture filmed in an unbroken take, is a standout moment with an unearthly performance by Harvey Scrimshaw. But when he's done asking his lord if he can sit upon his lap, Caleb falls back to the bed and stops breathing. Catherine checks his pulse and confirms it. Another son's bit in the dust. Damn, that kid had a bright future writing Christian ballads ahead of him. With Jonathan Murphy still acting all bewitched, Catherine shouts Thomason the potential witch out of the house. And although her father William is more sympathetic, he admits that he too believes that Thomason has made some sort of evil bargain, causing the family's hardship.
I saw this happened to us, and you stopped that.
They lied.
I saw it.
When he begs her to tell him the truth, she tells him the truth that hit the line of hypocrite, and she let her take the blame for Catherine's missing silver cup. She insults his farming and trapping skills, which gets him pretty mad, and then turns the accusation of witchcraft around on the twins. She says they're always talking to that bastard Black Phillip, and that the ghost is probably the gosh dang devil himself. William drags her aside and makes her share her theory with Catherine.
Jonathan meant to make covenant with the devil in the sake of Black Phillip.
When the twins refuse to respond, William gives up and decides that he can't believe any of his potentially evil children. Might as well lock all three of them in the barn with Black Phillip. Hey, at least the ghost's a pretty chill host, though. Yeah, Thompson, help yourself to any hay you might want. You casa, bah. William tries to bury his son, but he has a hard go of it, since his traumatized wife decides to have herself a corpse cuddle in the grave. It was all so damn frustrating. Back to the chopping stuff. He cries and begs God to save him and his children, who just can't help being bad.
They cannot stand their natural evil.
And that's why he leaves them in the barn overnight, which is when they hear something scuttle across the roof and fall into the nearby hay. Why don't the kids go see what that is? Oh, it's a naked-ass witch drinking all your milk blood. But maybe she's a nice witch. No, that's a mean witch laugh. Inside the house, Catherine wakes up to find that Caleb has returned, and so has baby Sam. Reunion hug! She offers to breastfeed Sam for old time's sake, but you can't go giving your boob milk to phantasms, Catherine, because that's how you wind up with a raven pecking at your nipple. The next morning, William wakes up with a shame over so bad he doesn't even notice his wife's bloody boobs. He goes outside and finds the barn in pieces, and the non-Black Phillip ghost dead. As for Jonathan Murphy, they're never seen again. The hole in the roof of the barn suggests that the woods witch flew off with them, especially since we don't see their bodies. But even though their chance of survival is pretty slim, I'm gonna leave them off the count. You never know their fate for sure. Unlike with William, who is very visibly stabbed in the side by Black Phillip with his horn. William briefly considers fighting back with his woodshop axe, but decides to give up and simply deliver some bitter last words. Black Phillip runs at William and knocks him into the stand of firewood, which collapses and kills him by crushing him with chopped up logs. If only you hadn't chopped so much wood, dude. Thomason goes to inspect her dad's body, only to get grabbed by her mother, who is not happy that Thomason lost her final two siblings. You 4 for 4 there, Tommy gal. Catherine blames Thomason for Caleb's death and says that her pubescent daughter had been seducing Caleb and William, which, like you, Catherine gets so crazy with her accusations that Thomason has to defend herself with a sharp tool, which she uses to slash her mom's face. And when Catherine tries to strangle her daughter to death after that, Thomason is forced to kill her mom with at least 3 strikes that sound like stabs and some superfluous beatings for the hell of it. She didn't want to do it, but she had to. And with her mom dead, now she's all alone with those scary-ass woods. Or is she? That night, she confronts the goat Black Phillip, who silently leads her into the barn. Inside, she speaks his name and conjures him to speak to her.
I want some down for like 2 second twins. 20, yeah. Yeah, I think my career gonna have to be the wave there.
Thomason and Black Phillip begin.
What?
She offers her some delicious dairy flavoring.
Did you not just hear me say my career might have to be the wave?
Before he sweetens the deal even further and asks if she wants to have a
Maybe in a minute, but not right this second. What the luck? What in the luck?
And the good news for her is that all she's got to do to make it happen is sign his book. Well, hey, Black Phillip, when did you become a single-handed pirate? He instructs her to remove thy ship. And when she admits to her illiteracy, he says it's not a problem.
I will guide thy...
Raymore and Finance, the solution for your best sleep yet. Get a free adjustable base with the purchase.
Oh my bad. I thought I wanted to listen to a Raymore and Finnegan commercial.
Biggest shooting badges fast and easy in NBA 2K21 Next Gen. Make sure you guys watch the whole video because throughout the video I'm going to give you guys tips and show you guys different scenarios to make this shooting method as easy as possible. Also, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it.
Yo, put man down, bro.
All my shooting badges, and the first thing you want to do before you get any of your badges, you guys want to go to options, go to settings, and make sure you're on pro difficulty. You can play on full, of course, if you really want to, but your mind player will get tired faster and will make it harder to get your badges. And also, pro difficulty is easier than all the others, All-Star, Superstar, and Hall of Fame. So you want to play on pro difficulty. And the last thing you guys want to do before you start is go to controller settings and then go to shot meter and either turn it off or turn it only so you get an extra boost to your shot. When you start a game, the first thing you want to do is call a half-court trap on defense. To do this, you click left on the D-pad and click R1. That'll call a half-court trap. And the thing this does is on defense, it makes the people on your team double team the ball handlers, so that way one person will always be left open. They'll put a shot up really fast, and that way you'll get way more possessions on offense, which means way more chances to get more shooting badges. Before we get into this method is actually really good because you can do it on the fast break, you can do it in a half-court offense, not on the fast break. And one last tip before I get into the method, you guys want to put the fastest jump shot you can on. So if you guys want a fast jump shot, make sure to click a card in the top right. Or I can just explain the method for you guys. You can wait till the end of the video, and there should be an end screen with the jump shot that I used in these clips. The first thing you guys need to understand about this method is that you can do this method on any build. You don't need to be able to dribble. All you have to do is just run along the three-point line, and you'll get wide open. So let me explain this to you guys. So first, you want to go to the top of the key. Then you want to give the ball to one of your teammates. As you can see, I'm giving it to Dfdsd. And then you just run along the wing, and for some reason, you'll get an animation where you spot up on the three-point line, and the defender will...
Chicos! You know that nigga Elijah, right? See, that kind of hurted me though.
What's the most NSFW situations been involved in at work?
Smacky, smacky!
NSFW is training.
Hit that nigga with the smacky Ackers, cuz, right? That's right.
I'm a sound engineer, and do theatre work every now and then. Theatre work involves seeing and being in contact with a lot of minimally clothed people. The funniest, most NSFW was when I was hooking up a very attractive young lady, early 20s. Now, mics for theatre can be in a variety of places, from voice to hands, flair, faces, or clothes, etc. This particular girl had a mic hidden in her hair. The cable goes down their back and into a transmitter in a pouch around the waist, or put under their bra. So I asked the girl to lift the back of her dress so I could put the mic transmitter into her pouch. She misheard me and took the dress completely off, revealing her incredibly minimal undergarments. I kept doing my job and got the mic in place and whatnot, and then said, you know, I didn't ask you to take that right off. Right? She just looked at me cheaply, smiled and said, oh well. Getting a hand job in the breakthrough. Oh, don't rape your co-workers, BTW. I work
Oh, that nigga got clapped, you faggot.
on how many naked people I see. But once this super hot girl in her 20s asked me to help her put on a second row, but she was
I mean, it's
recovering
true.
from a shoulder
Crime do be
injury.
gay.
She didn't give two flying ducks that I could see everything. Just casually disrobed and I helped her with the fresh ones. She thanked me and I went on my way. I was very professional, but damn that ass. I've successfully masturbated at every job I've held. I once had a woman dancing naked in front of me, her massive tits bouncing all over the place, wanting me to come get her. Unfortunately, she was in her 80s, riddled with Alzheimer's and being dragged away by her carers. But I guess it's still kind of NSFW. I'm in the military, and it's mandatory that wear a reflective belt during the hours of darkness. But there was this one time that I didn't do it. Probably the most NSFW thing I've ever done. I still get scared whenever I think about it. I work in a call center. Rows and rows of people. No privacy. I mindlessly browse Reddit while I'm at work. I rarely read titles but for just ducking clicking away. The little red NSFW does not ducking help me. One time it was slow and I clicked a link from WTF. It was a giant gif of a woman's fist ducking another woman to the point where you can see her whole goddamn hand under the other lady's skin. Then my computer froze. It was the most terrifying 10 seconds of my life and I scrambled to get my computer shut off. Everything's recorded. All phone calls and computer activity. Panic. They did ask me about a week later why I logged out of my phone outside of my breaks and restarted my computer. And I just was like, oh, it froze all while thinking because I accidentally clicked a very vulgar porn scene. Okay, just let one of us know next time you have computer issues. God, that was a close one. Between 07 and 10 I worked as a basic security guard. Various clients' contracts, but the longest one was for the local hospital. I had the run of the whole building. We had an office section that was closed after hours. I'd take girls into the dark. Empty offices.
Crack cocaine.
So many different chairs were used. No one ever found out. Emergency nurses are wild. By the way, I had sex with a co-worker in the office after hours. I worked on a college campus. We were dating. They let us stay into lockup a few times a week because we were taking night classes after work. What did they expect? Also, when I worked security, there was a coffee shop girl that used to always bring me free drinks and bread at the end of her shift. It took my dumbers a long time to realize what was happening, and when I did, it was pretty great. I worked until midnight, and this was a ritzy place. So most everyone was gone by 6 p.m. And they didn't have cameras because they felt it ruined the look of the place. What this meant was when she got off a little after 9, we had 3 hours to kill. And security is a boring job. On the other end of NSFW, I have had nights pulled on me a bunch, and wrestled a dude to the ground, fell on top of him, and had something hit me in the ribs. Only to later find out that he had a .22 in his backpack that I had fallen on when we went to the ground. Had a guy come at me jabbing a syringe at me. It had the cap on though, so when it hit me I throat punched him. Still had to get tested though, and that was ducking scary.
We don't care.
One time at that college, John
Jalen, we don't care.
furniture from one office to the other, and this ducked up pickup truck the campus was going to throw away. So we stole the keys and went
Renee.
and ducked that up.
Go reading. 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 Go reading.
Has probably been used for this. Thanks everyone. I ducked a co-worker in the supply closet. We had gotten flirty a few weeks before, then kissed after a drunken office party like 3 nights before we did this. I went by her cube and jokingly asked her if she wanted to go do it in the closet, and she very seriously said yes.
Nigga, what?
To the closet first, and then she came and tapped on the door.
So, if they make $1 million and he gets 1%,
but realized in the middle of it how crazy it was and finished up.
they get $6 million and he makes 1%. He said, you definitely said 1%. He gets 60,000 if they make 1%. Let me think about that. That sounds about right. Right? Yeah, 10,000. No. Yeah, 10,000 will be 1%. So yeah, 60K. I mean, honestly though, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Cause one, he just started with them. 2, that's still good. Great. Well, they live in California though. That's not a lot of money at all.
Your health first. At Cooper University Health.
He probably will once he's completely done legally.
Yes, the world has changed.
Maybe.
When you visit a Cooper office, some things make you
Intoxicated. All I was told by the nurse was that she's going to ask you not to call him on. I don't deal with that stuff.
No, they don't.
Walked into the room to see her boyfriend.
Some niggas do not make $1 million daily.
Vomit-filled mouth. He looked up at me and just goes, "It's probably time to go, isn't it?" I just shook my head and he casually walked out, wiping his mouth. Nothing really crazy, but that.
Boot up, turned up, hyped up.
When gas truck was unloading petrol, the hose nozzle caught fire.
Jalen likes men's horror bodies. Faggot. I literally can't activate my grand badge.
I had a cig break, so went out with a friend who came to stop by. Left my cigarettes inside, so I have a bit of his. He always uses roaches instead of filters, so I didn't bat an eye.
Oh, it is active. Okay.
Turns out I had just smoked half a joint before the Saturday rush.
You did man them get bailed, fam.
Started sketching out thinking everyone knew I
Hard body, hard body, hard body.
said, hey, remember
I know these niggas with that me, hard body, hard body,
small hotel.
hard body, hard body, hard body, hard body, hard body.
Many of you masturbated. Some kid once pooped in a zip-wrapped bag and threw it into the
Grenade. Miss with green badge? Oh, because I got limitless shots and I spot up.
and he turns around and slams face first into a hot girl's lips. And one hand ends up on her tit and the other hand ends up on her ass. That happened viral too. I used to work for a tow truck company as a battery tire guy that would drive vans out and provide dump stuff. Tire changes. What have you? One of the first jobs I did solo, I was changing a tire for a group of women leaving a bar and were about to go out to the next venue. The whole damn time they were grabbing my ass as I was working and saying all sorts of suggestive it to me. I was a 17-year-old kid, though it didn't bother me. I just have lots of sexual innuendos. Being followed around by a manager holding 2 melons in front of his chest, asking me if I liked his melons, because he liked mine. Cleaning the massive drain in the warehouse. Deputy manager came up and asked if I was having fun. Said yes sarcastically. He said, of course I'm having fun. I love being filthy. Standing on top of the display table to hang displays and having the new manager ask if I'm used to climbing on top of tables for a living. Nothing
I could be a bucket for the knickers.
I once had a
I'm 10 for 15.
stumble into my restaurant and head straight for our bathroom.
Oh, I know that
It
part
was
of the song.
10 p.m. on a Monday and we had closed, but I needed to get this drunk Methodica out. I had to go into the men's room and ask if he was okay and could he leave. I get in there and there's black vomit everywhere. The floor, the walls, everything. He has decided I'm his wife and is calling me Shirley and telling me all about how much of a miserable bitch I am. I ask for his address to call him a taxi. He gives me a phone number instead. So that ends up being his wife who says I told him I don't pick him up after 6 p.m. Great. Get their address and order him a taxi. So now I have to go pull this guy out of the toilets. I open the door a crack and ask him if he's able to come out. And make sure he's not peeing as conscious. This dude storms out with his pants around his ankles, refusing to pull his pants up. His saggy old man balls and dad Brandy just flapping about. After much debate, I have to pull his stinky pissed and vomited on wide fronts and pants up for him, bundle him into a taxi and send him home. Turns out his wife purposefully gave me the wrong address. BC, she hates him and he was too drunk to remember where he lived. Much fun. TL. DR. Drunk old man bodily fluid coated saggy balls in my face in my restaurant. Had sex in multiple places in a movie theater. The roof. The projection booth. The break room. Theater number 15. I worked with mentally disabled individuals for quite a while and ended up being part of a crisis response team. I got a call at 3 a.m. that I needed to go help out at one of our houses and to hurry. I got there as quick as I could and walked into the house to be assaulted by the fresh stench of fecal matter wafting through the air. The staff hesitantly pointed to the client's room. I opened the door and was greeted by a sight that would make Gigi Lynn proud. Our client was near to it. There were murals of brown on all 4 walls. And he was crouched on his bed like Gollum, muttering furiously while wiping his ass to use it as lubricant while he masturbated. Not sure I'll ever forget that. My co-worker and I were rearranging server racks in a server room with elevated floors. This means that the floor is made up of movable tiles about a foot above the actual ground. The edges of the tiles and the frames that support them are incredibly sharp. Anyway, my buddy lifts a tile and moves it aside. He then steps into the hole he just created, slamming his shin into the frame's sharp edge, which managed to bludgeon open his legs without cutting his geek. There was lots of blood. It was not safe for work. I climbed in the cardboard compactor once to jimmy some boxes loose. Not safe at all. I had keys to the office I used to work at. My girlfriend and I went after hours many times to bang in various spots around the office, including, but not limited to, conference room desk, boss's desk, my desk and lobby. I also still have the key.
Oh, Kawan isn't good on offense. Oh,
Various places.
Kawan, you need some help on offense, little nigga.
Every job I've ever had. At both my own desk and in the bathroom. There was also one time when at the last job, I got a 19-year-old college student who came into my office to show me her new tattoo, which was located in an area that would be conceivable by a bikini bottom. When she pulled her panties and jeans out to show me, I could see that she was cleanly shaven. Shaven as well as the top of her labia. That's at the top of my spank bank highlight reel even today. I of course never made a move on her because she was my boss's daughter. Plus she was out of my league. And I have a girlfriend whom I love. But damn it, that doesn't mean I can't fantasize about boss's daughter from time to time. I worked late once and that's the feeling.
Anymore.
Had I known that
You have been wrong. I will do it. I think it was snapping. I'm a big dog, big bear, nigga, I'm a lion. I'm the predator, you're the predator. Oh my, I found you, nigga.
Get drunk and make pizza. Hotbox the walk-in freezer.
Little nigga.
Out back on our breaks. And I used to have a fix with my manager in his office.
Baby. They. Where's me they? What was that pass?
Once in a while. The best was getting fired. Yup. All I was thinking about was
No.
he fired me was how I had
Nobody on earth knows past that part of the song.
a week before. He made me work late that night knowing I had plans with her, pushing my week to 55 hours, and didn't pay me overtime. They wondered why I had a bad attitude. He sat in my car. Just a typical wait for the boss to get inside his room and let's make a quick.
Really?
Nothing too shabby.
Me and RJ Barrett out here going off, bruh.
Graphic magazine. So I was excited about telling some of my in-the-field stories until I realized that technically all I did was very much at my particular line of W. Sad. Got accused of being some creepy ass pervert, taking videos of other staff with my phone. I was just texting mates, which was so full of herself. A female co-worker and I took a male co-worker into a private room and closed the door. Then he took his shirt off and we had our hands all over his chest. And that's how I trained her to perform an electrocardiogram. I had an employer ask me to sleep with him in the back room. I said no, and he fired me later that day. I suppose that was the most NSFW situation I have been involved in at my own job. I really needed the job too. They paid me out in cash, so there was no record of my employment. Having six on the husband's desk at his former work is probably the most NSFW situation I have been involved in at his work. I work in mental health, so I've seen a lot of shady, disgustingness over the years. I was caring for a lady with early onset dementia who had a habit of eating many non-edible things. She had just woken up from a nap and wandered from her room. I noticed that her hands were covered in blood, so I rushed over to assess where the blood was from. I quickly realized that she wasn't injured, but was mensurating and often played with herself. So this was the source of the blood. I cleaned her up and changed her diaper. She was also incontinent, and took her to the TV room. We were sitting on the sofa together when she began rocking back and forth and moaning. I leaned toward her to see if she was all right, when she suddenly threw up all over my lap. I looked down to see bloody vomit with chunks of gelatin diaper spilling, dribbling down my legs. While she was in her room, she had picked apart the inside lining of her piss and blood-filled diaper, and ate it. That smell will stay with me for the rest of my life. I got two. The funny one happened while working at a web hosting company. One of our customers hosts a granny porn site. Parts of their site were working, but other parts were not. So we're going through the issue of trying to figure out what the common link was between the pages that aren't working. At the top were some tags, anal, threesome, interracial, etc. Each of these took you to a different site within the family of granny porn sites. So here I am saying, yeah, the anal and interracial sites aren't working, but the lesbian and bondage sites work fine. My co-workers, as we all behave like immature 14-year-olds when we're really immature 24-year-olds, were all cracking up, which was making it even harder for me to be serious. The less funny one. I used to work for a tiny startup with minuscule office space. One night I decided I wanted to duck my GF on my boss's desk. So we went out to dinner like 2 minutes from the office, then dropped into the office hours after everyone had left. We banged on his desk and chair, then did a quick clean-up job in the bathroom and headed home. Bonus situation. When I was younger I mowed lawns. I looked in through the window really quick and saw a dude furiously masturbating. I ignore it, move a few feet to the side, so there isn't that direct line of sight at him, and started the mower. I go away from the window to start. On my way back the blinds were down. That guy probably thinks he got away with it. I think it's better that he believes that. My son was conceived at work. I have fun all the time. One time I made a bridge for a scissor lift to get over some fresh cement, making a quick 3-rung ladder, crawling on top of ductwork and stop and shop, having scissor lift races. I've stood on the part of a step ladder that says not a step, pretty NSFW. I would climb up 40 feet ladders without someone at the bottom holding the ladder.
It's crazy how this nigga has been playing Madden for years and still doesn't understand how it works. Oh, let me stop. He probably ain't gonna like that one. He's probably saying,
It is said that Greek tragedian Aeschylus died because an eagle dropped a tortoise on his bald head, mistaken for a rock.
Uzi, they used to make fun of you. Oh, yeah, all my hundreds blew.
So he traveled
I'm done with you. I got lots of girls, no, it ain't just one of you. I'll fight on my prestos, all these girls I'm running through.
Alright, I don't remember the specifics, but there was a king, I believe a Sumerian king, who was told by an oracle that disaster would befall the king. So he had a gardener crowned as king for a day, and that night the gardener would be executed, thus fulfilling the prophecy and saving the real king. Soon after the gardener's coronation, the real king chose
Whip it like a beater. Ooh, whip it like 2-seater.
Honduras and El Salvador.
Ooh.
What's the juiciest
Ooh.
NSFW piece of drama that ever happened in
Yeah.
your workplace?
Ooh.
A teacher at my high school was convicted for running a
Yeah.
prostitution ring that recruited young girls from middle school. We stopped having a free period study hall at school because they caught a girl ducking in a car during a break. They found we were wasting our time, so it was
Then I show these girls a see-through translucent.
some band kids sent naked pics of a band girl to the band teacher. And this was back when sending naked pictures required light, digital camera, a USB cord and a bunch of time to download the pics. Like they could have stopped at any of those roadblocks. And they kept going. The band teacher was eventually fired for other sketchiness, but then rehired when his replacement proved even sketchier. Some girl gave a guy a blowjob in a restaurant for a few bucks and a bag of burritos. No one would have really known either except she herself confirmed it. I don't think she understood how much she'd be made fun for that because she ended up switching schools about a month later. Oh, and the freshman principal was fired for getting way too handsy with kids. Edit. Words are hard. When I was in grade 10, a friend of mine decided to grow out some dreads against popular opinion. After fifth, one day, this other douchebag thought it would be funny to jerk off into my friend's shampoo bottle dart, but was so stupid he waited around until my friend used said shampoo to tell him what he did. My friend was so enraged, he chased the guy bare-assed naked through the halls until tackling him, and unleashed an unholy beating upon him. It turns out that the kid was a good hockey player, so got away with detention and having to give an apology. My friend was expelled from the school. Well, until his mother raised such hell that the principal commuted it to 2 days suspension. The next year, the then vice principal became the new principal, and I don't know what happened to the old one. I work in a restaurant. 2 of the wait staff were caught having sex in the employee bathroom, one of which was married and their spouse was also a waiter at the same restaurant. 3 teachers at my old high school got arrested for raping students. No, not statutory rape, just Out and out rape, like forcing yourself onto someone who does not want it as they beg you to stop.
Well,
I went to a private high school, and as we now sexually repressed Christian kids get creepy, I did not go to a very nice high school. It was underfunded and run down, so in the alley behind the school there was an old couch from the teacher's lounge that had been there for years. I'm fairly certain that Skittles lived in it, but that didn't stop some freshmen from ducking on it, only to be caught by the gym teacher. Our memories. Last year, our vice principal abruptly left his wife for one of the drama teachers. He had 2 children who attended the school. One day that drama teacher left work.
oh please,
She was sick. The VP went home
my way,
and caught up with him just
heartbeat.
the VP then rang said art teacher and left a ducking voicemail saying, hey, just letting you know I caught your
Got cheese.
MRS. Whatever. Fine. That one took months to the basketball coach was messing around with a few of the SRG team. Apparently closed door office meeting. He went to jail and everyone knew the girls do the off meeting.
Forgot to my boot port.
Too preppy. Stuck-up daughters of the high school boys basketball coach, a history teacher, got busted having a hot tub orgy party with half the basketball team while their parents were away for a weekend. But because it was small town Indiana, the cops didn't even arrest the girls for the underage drinking drugs, maintaining a common nuisance. Just made them stay home until coach got back from his conference. 2 of my co-workers hooked up. He told a bunch of people. Because she was much more attractive than him, people didn't believe him. So he showed us a picture of the 2 of them having sex. She was not aware of the existence of this picture and did not want him showing it to people. HR got involved. He got fired. She got reassigned to another department. I used to work at a large sporting goods store, like we had a total of 100 plus employees, including sales, tech, warehouse and managers. There was this girl from a small rural town that had massive issues and was hated by all of the women. The guys got along with her but found her annoying at times. This girl was dating a really socially awkward guy that worked in the service shop. This girl was sleeping with not 1 but 5 different guys from the store, and I guess everyone except her boyfriend knew about it. One day her iCloud somehow got synced up with the boyfriend's phone and he learned about her affairs and just quit. The girl came into work hysterical and crying and also quit. A month later, according to social media, they were back together and engaged. Here's the kicker, one of the 5 guys was still banging her. I went to a Catholic school and my year 3 teacher and the town priest had a full-on love affair. He had to quit being a priest and she left town. The thing is, my best friend and I, at 8, had it figured out before everyone. We were loners that sat near the classrooms at lunch, and he would go into the classroom at start of break, and then at the end they would walk out and her hair would be a mess. Obviously we didn't know exactly what was going on in there, but we knew they were being naughty. ATLEC wasn't interfering with the students. 2 girls fingered themselves in the bathroom when I was in 3rd grade. A bunch of girls sent nudes to their contacts or something during a Halloween dance.
Really?
The principal had to send out an email to all the parents and tell them about how bad sending nudes to people is. Rumor had it that a couple had used saran wrap as a contraceptive. The music teacher was banging the literature teacher, whom was married to the English teacher. The literature and English teachers had a child enrolled at the school, and so did the music teacher, because of the involved children. Everyone knew everything within days of this blowing up. I sometimes talked to a girl 2 classes under me in high school and she went and joined ISIS. Not kidding, there is like a documentary about it and all. Her family had to smuggle her out of the country. We've had several little incidents in our high school. One of our teachers was fired left ages ago because one of the students had found a pornographic video of her and her sister doing some stuff. Our vice principal was accused of having sexual relations with a minor back in the days and he went to court for it. Never heard of him after that. Apparently, it was a case of mistaken identity, but who knows? Oh, this was like 4 years ago or something. One of our teachers got fired for sharing nude pictures with one of the students. That was pretty funny, TBH. The kid that got sent the photos acted like he was it for a few weeks. We're a very troubled school. On a bet, a girl had a friend film her getting ducked by the family dog. Of course, this video got around to everyone. Her family moved states. I don't know how she turned out. Probably not great though.
Edit. Worst part. It was doggy style. I worked at a camera kit hire facility for a while after uni. It was our job to basically check the kit back, make sure it wasn't damaged, wipe the memory cards and repack. We would quite often borrow the kit or sell if stuff wasn't penciled. We weren't supposed to, but our manager didn't give a single it. Anyway, we had a client come back one day and ask to check to see if there was any footage on the cards as they hadn't copied it off. This is a surprisingly common request. What we found on one of the cards was a pop shot of our client services manager, 40-year married woman, sucking off one of the kit room assistants, 21-year dude with a girlfriend. Both got fired, of course. Worst part was they really cracked down on us using the kit after that. One English teacher didn't wear no panties in class and sat on the front desk where everyone could see her pussy. Everyone around me is like, okay, that happened, but I just don't get it. And people are so cool about. Like it's normal. That teacher also has 3 kids with 2 different students. How that didn't get her into any trouble is beyond me. 2 students tried doing anal in the band closet where they keep all the uniforms. Well, one of them ended up peeing all over the floor and the uniforms. I don't know if the school officially found out who it was, but the other kids knew. I don't think anything came of it. Just a big mess at the time. The male Spanish teacher. I'm from Mexico. When I was in school, 13 years old, every time have a chance molested the girls. Also ever brag about have a big D and a lot of women. He was married with 2 or 3 kids I don't remember. The thing is, years later, when I was around 17 years old, my brother was in the same school and the teacher was caught in the bathroom, in underwear and socks, sucking the D of 3 boys at the same time. Weeks later, a photo of the teacher in that situation rolled over the cell phones like fire in summer. Some teachers, 1 teacher, 1 coach, 1 substitute teacher, started giving us drugs and alcohol and sleeping with all my friends the last month of school. They started hanging out with us the night of my 18th birthday. I was the last to turn 18. Thought it was great at the time, but realized how disgusting it was now. It was an open secret. One turned to a 16-year after we stopped hanging out with them and was allowed to resign. In my school we have this weird currency sort of thing called eagle bucks. My school mascot is an eagle. You get them for all sorts of things like helping someone with something, getting good test scores, etc. Well, a girl here got expelled because she was charging guys anywhere between 15, enough for a pack of cheap pens, and 50, enough for a binder and some paper maybe, of them to blow them in. Enough for a binder and some paper maybe, of them to blow them in the bathrooms. Student was trying to duck the band director. Band director, poor dude, basically said no. If you don't stop saying these things, I'm reporting you to the office. I can't lose my job, kid freaked. Told everyone it was the other way around. Band director turned out to be gay. He quit his job so he won't have to put students on the witness stand. Heard about a school mom that went on a Tinder date only to end it with a golf ball which she shoved up her bag and then signed. The guy said he was a collector. A PhD in my then lab had sex with the boss. Over lunch. At his desk. They drove the boss chair. The commotion attracted everyone. Her ass was seen. His face couldn't even get livid enough to lose its redness. She left before her defense. Last time I saw him, he was still arriving late morning in his off-brand sports car like he owns the place since he sorta does. I also caught a guy frantically trying to close porn ads on the PC. Same lab. The year. I shrugged it off. Laughed my ass off and went with my business. His face the following morning was priceless. His girlfriend was also in the same lab. I didn't rat on him, obviously. School trip down to Puerto Rico. 15-year-old got caught having anal with a random gardener. Two teachers got into a fist fight during a teachers' coaches versus seniors basketball game. I watched the whole thing happen long. The two teachers didn't like each other and kept running into each other the entire game. One of them shoved, the other shoved back, then the other threw a punch. Kids and coaches tried to break it up, but they were built pretty big and it took a while. I'm pretty sure they both kept their jobs. This happened senior year during the last full week of class.
Yeah, I had that nigga muted for the past hour.
A fellow team member didn't want to come in on her scheduled day, so she grabbed the samples we had collected, threw them away, and just left. Days of hard work collecting them went down the drain.
Yeah, the Bills on this game are busted. Nigga, I have a 6'7" power forward with an 84 ball handling, 90 driving dunk, and a 93. That makes no sense. But I'm good with it.
The next summer, my buddy had an exchange
Yeah.
stay at his house for a while from BC and we're in Ontario. We're all hanging out and drinking, and we start talking about hot girls from our school.
Rookieville is terrible.
Conversation goes to news, and he had this photo that
No, I'm out, but yeah, that was terrible.
we were amazed at how this must have happened. Apparently it spread like wildfire.
That was a perfect release, but okay. I don't know. I gotta figure out how to get shooting badges on here. Cause you can't do the joint you do on current gen where you just like hit the jab step and then shoot.
Like one of these, but the older, crappier ones from the early 80s that had metal instead of plastic lids and pistons.
Told you, I've been trying to tell y'all niggas, man, coverage is the wave.
There's the kindergarten one in that classroom, the staff-only bathroom in the admin building, the old bathroom, which barely works, near the playground, and this one which was attached to the gym and was basically the main bathroom.
Nigga, what is that?
And the one adults who and staff were supposed to use.
So I shouldn't be playing micro?
For parent-teacher night, ended up creating such a ripstorm that one of the staff had to be in that room for the boys to use the bathroom from then on for the rest of the year, and a few boys got expelled.
Oh yeah, I'm about to go there. I don't know what that is, but I need it.
Everybody has everybody else on Facebook, and if some reason you don't, you have that person 50% of your Facebook friends do. A woman got caught cheating by her husband. After the freak out, he went on the computer and posted on her FB as her saying that she just got caught ducking some dude who also works at the plant, has a wife and like 9 kids with her. That she knows she's a whore and her husband has every right to kick her ass out. He made a few other posts on her account. Everybody saw it. People were tagging other people or screenshotting it and texting it. It was a show. The husband and wife have a bit of an exchange on there for everyone to see. Friends were jumping in to defend her before she finally shuts it all down. At that point, the damage was done. Everyone had copies of what went down. She ended up taking some time off work, and it's still laughed about 5 years later and has become sort of urban legend. The other man is still with the wife and he's a serial cheater, but he's a whole other story.
I'll say that around 8.
And his girlfriend, who's also my friend, met in freshman year. We are all currently seniors and hit it off fast. So during lunch one day, he tweaked and fingered her under the table. That wasn't the only. They did something like that. She gave him a hand job in the hallway. They were under a blanket so cameras couldn't see them. I'm super glad they found each other though. They make each other super happy. She's even having his child in January. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they got married right after graduation, since he turned 18 by then. So many things. In one class just the other week, our teacher spent the entire class talking with us about the incident involving fornication, instead of doing work. For the entire class, one of them including teachers doing it after hours in a classroom and not getting caught, except they left behind evidence that a clueless janitor found. Another one is about a student-teacher relationship where the student was 15 when it started and the teacher was in his 40s and married with kids. Once the girl turned 18, she dropped out and ran away with the guy. There's so many more. Oh, there's a couch in a prop room for theater that everyone calls the sex couch. It's self-explanatory, but they got caught. Some gal fingered herself in study hall while she was high. Another didn't mention she was in class. She took those fingers and slapped them across his face and smeared it all over. She has a kid now. Good mom. In my school there was a new transfer student, a grade below me. Lovely girl to talk to, but the 3 words to describe her would be hippie, slut, and tits. Really? At 16 she had F-ups. On a 5'4" skinny valley girl body, I yet expect to hear about her getting a reduction at some point. She quickly gained a reputation for sleeping around and became a big hit on the pothead scene. At one point she ducked one of the baseball players in a bathroom, a school bathroom, during lunch, with people walking around. That he was an honest student and an athlete shielded them both from real consequences. However, her absolute biggest conquest was after softball one day. Bring out your Skyrim skill 100 memes. Because this girl convinced the entire girls' softball team to have a lesbian orgy in a school locker room. It was said that the male coach ended to see what was taking so long for the girls to leave. It was about 6 to 7 p.m. on a game day. Called in ahead of himself just in time to see a room full of naked schoolgirls frozen in surprise. Mid-orgy. Pros. Turned to walk out without a word to them at the time. The result was, Pippi Slutix was quietly booted from the team, but not even suspended. They probably wanted to try to prevent rumors. Good job. There. And a lot of the other girls came out as bi or lesbians in the month after. A co-worker slept with another co-worker's daughter. My gym teacher in 5th and 6th grade was the most hot woman I've ever seen in my life. Jennifer Lopez, Janet Jackson style. Huge tits and a massive butt. And man, in that age of uncontrollable boners, I would notice that she loved to stare at the students' bulges. Weirdly, she was fired under the rumors of abusing a boy. Manager WhatsApped the D-pic to his son. Unfortunately, he sent it to the manager's group chat instead, so every manager in store, including the store manager, saw his D. Ether. His so was a manager in store at the time too, so it wasn't completely random. There was this girl, Jane, who was about 15 at the time, and she used to lie about her age to get older guys to sleep with her. I don't know exactly how or why it started, but some other girl who had serious issues ratted Jean out to her mom. The end result was the two of them almost getting into a fist fight during school. She also broke some poor guy's D when she tried to ride him. So there's that too. There was also another girl in that class who hooked up with two brothers in the same night, and one of them peed on her mayor. High school band teacher. Big fat guy in his 40s was walked in on by the principal having sex with a 15-year-old girl in a practice room during a staff meeting. Turns out he was grooming the girl throughout middle school, and while there was only proof of one instance, it's likely they had been engaging in those activities for quite some time. One girl in my senior year had videos on Pornhub of her masturbating when she was still 17. Didn't hide her face at all and told one of the biggest mouths in our grade about the video. So of course everyone found out quickly. The school got involved. Pretty sure the police got involved. She wasn't kicked out, but she was a pariah for a while. Another girl that I knew for most of my life, also in our senior year, would duck the biggest sleaze in our class before school in the school parking lot in his car. We started school at 7:45 in the morning. Who wants to duck at 7 in the morning in some dude's car in a parking lot? Also, that same dude got another girl pregnant our senior year. Basically, when you go to high school in a small town with nothing to do, things happen, and they spread fast. Not the best drama in the world. We were having a party at the workplace when two co-workers decided to have a fix in the boss office.
Telling you, bro, that nigga just be leaving.
Day he came up to me asking about stains all over his office. I just said I didn't know anything about any stains. He later found out about it and was pretty mad about it, and put a lock on his office and put up posters around the workplace saying we were not allowed to have a fix in the building anymore, thanks to the two co-workers who did it. Sorry, I'm dyslexic, so if the spelling isn't right, that's why. Right before graduation, my ex-girlfriend went around telling people that she and her new boyfriend had sex in the government teacher's room. The school did an investigation, and she admitted that she made it up just to piss off her several exes. A couple of girls sent nudes to the wrong boys, and a lot of people saw them. A lot. My friend B, nickname, obviously, had sex with his girlfriend in a bunch of really obvious places throughout the school during junior year. Didn't get caught, either, until she thought she was pregnant because her period had stopped. She told her mom. Her mom told the principal. Side note, when Bean was called down to the principal's office, she said, "Well, aren't you a horny little it?" the moment he walked in. and Bean's other nickname became the Legend, namely because he only got a day of suspension for it, and his girlfriend wasn't pregnant either, just didn't know that IUDs can mess with her period. She wasn't that bright. Didn't see it in person, but a lady mixed up her work brownies and the special brownies. Some fat dude ate 2 or 3 thinking they were regular brownies. He thought he was having a heart attack. EMTs came, then the cops later. She lost her job and had to deal with legal charges for accidentally poisoning a co-worker. Dressing up on Halloween was banned, but later unbanned for seniors only, after someone dressed up as an erectee named MR. Happy. Girl sucked off a guy for a $1.29 slushy. The chief was ducking a division commander. Another member of command staff leaked an internal email and wrote a commentary essay and sent it to the press. A civil war broke out in the department between loyalists to the chief and the people the chief messed with. We had 5 chiefs in 2 years and probably 40% of the officers left in 2 years. The funniest thing that was said about it was when I had a meeting in the chief's office. One of the new chiefs told all of us not to sit on the couch. One time on set, one of the other PAs got fired for taking that in Tom Cruise's private bathroom. I got a pretty good story, kinda related. Back in the 10th grade, my English teacher, who was a 35-40-year-old, decently attractive lady, made us read A Scarlet Letter, the book about the girl who commits adultery and has to wear a big scarlet A or something. Not sure. Didn't read it. Anyway, years go by. I graduate high school and I am in between homes and living with a friend of mine, his father and another one of our friends. It was a nice 3-story house with spare bedrooms. One day I hear the dad's friend and his girlfriend are coming over to stay for a week or so. Right. That's cool. They come over one night and my friend and I are hanging out and drinking beers. Turns out it was my 10th grade English teacher. We are talking and it turns out they both needed somewhere to live because she got kicked out of her house for cheating on her husband and was now with this guy. She said it wasn't a bad marriage she was in. She just wanted to fool around and got caught. I think he got caught by his wife and he had nowhere to go either. I was a bit drunk and when I found this out my jaw dropped. I blurted out, "Hey, you made us read A Scarlet Letter. You know, the one about adultery? Whoa, this is hilarious. Do you see the irony in this? Everyone got pretty quiet and her face turned pretty red. I felt pretty rude, but you know what they say, you take the stick if you ride the ride. No sympathy for the devil." What is the most NSFW thing you have witnessed at a party? When I was still in college, I was at a sorority party with my then girlfriend. A woman, probably a freshman, was on the floor, ass up, pants and panties to her ankles, funnel in her ass and people were pouring shots in her asshole. I was too high, drunk and stupid back then to realize that this could easily have killed her and I just left the room with my GA. Had this happened today, I definitely would have intervened. But back then I was just like, whoa dude. She lived. So it's all good. A stripper whipping my boss with his own belt. I was 15. And this was a McDonald's staff party. Update. As I have a lot of replies asking for context clarification. The stripper was perfectly normal. Not Mayor McCheese or some other nightmarish Macca's character. This wasn't a strip club. It was held at an employee's house as the franchisee forbade us from using the store or hiring an extra venue. Some of the older guys talked her as it had been his birthday recently and he had just worked. We were all drinking. And she was a
My stomach hurt. My stomach hurt. My stomach hurt.
and work is exactly at a high school house party back in 2012. This one girl got so cross-faded, drunk and high, and I accidentally walked in on her in the restroom. She was peeing on the floor right next to the toilet. Like, straight up. Had her pants and panties around her ankles, hands on her knees, and was just letting loose. She didn't seem embarrassed.
Hey yo, you blew a few pipes.
She said she didn't want to contaminate clean water, and that someone
Hey yo, you blew 3 pipes.
more confused only. Watched a guy lose a beer pong and get mad enough that he turned around and punched the first thing he could land his hand on, which turned out to be a window. In the movies, if you break a window, you don't get hurt. In real life, If you slam your fist through a
Jalen, you remember being at war in number of buildings, cuz?
so deep you practically
Those are the days.
There was so much blood that we thought this was what happened. We thought he sliced his hand off. One of the sober partiers rushed him to the hospital while the rest of us just left because the scene involved so much blood and gore that none of us even wanted to party anymore.
Grrrr, bow. Whoa.
For the rest of his life,
It's big on that time I'll be away.
he loses.
What's that about the big on this one will be away?
Prisoners of the day.